Hello and welcome to another Maximum Power video. I'm Paul. Today I'm looking at a few Amiga magazines. Now it's just been the 30th anniversary of the Amiga, so I thought really this is a perfect time to at least try and cover a little bit of a subject. Obviously a very popular machine. Sam Dyer's Bitmap Books had a very successful Kickstarter campaign doing the visual compendium of the Amiga. Something that we obviously did a very small episode of the show. If you've not had a chance to listen to that, it was probably from around April time. It was like one of the first specials we did. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about that, I'm here to talk about a few magazines. Now, the main one I do want to discuss, and it's a bit of a request really, is Amiga Power, a very popular one. Lasting 65 issues I think it was, almost made it to the end of 1996, and it stands out a lot because it had a load of humour in, sometimes a little bit too much humour, and by the last issue, which I've recently seen scans of on the Amiga Magazine Rack website, which is definitely worth checking out because there's loads of scans on there of all the pages and things like the one for your Amiga, Amiga Action, Amiga Format, including obviously Amiga Power. So just before I left my last job, I spent a lot of my working day reading through all those scans, making the most of my working day obviously. Anyway, just obviously getting up to my experience of Amiga Power. Like most people know, I had an Atari ST, which I absolutely loved, and you know, it started off that the ST was obviously more popular than the Amiga for a couple of years at least anyway. I think really the Amiga started overtaking it by about 1990, 91 definitely. So around the time you had a few different magazines on the rack, a lot of multi-format ones. So here we've got Ace, again up here in the top corner, ST before the Amiga, so this was from start of 1989. And then I've got a few other Amiga magazines here. We've got this one from November 1989, Amiga Computing. Looks quite a lot more serious, but also, you know, a little bit of game stuff in there as well. But around this time, that's when I got my ST. I think it was end of 89, start of 90. I seem to remember amazingly terrible with my dates on that one. And then you also had this magazine here, The One, which was for ST, Amiga and PC. Now as the Amiga grew in popularity, it eventually became The One for the Amiga, again lasting quite a few issues before, like a lot of Amiga magazines, just getting thinner and thinner until it just obviously disappeared. Anyway, you also had Amiga Force, which only lasted a few issues because, in all honesty, it was absolutely awful. Again, cheap magazine, but it just didn't stand out. This is where my favourites really came in, because when I had my Atari ST, I bought ST Format the odd time and ST Action. So mainly I ended up getting Amiga Action. A great magazine, again more based around the games. Obviously things like CU Amiga and Amiga Format were more on the technical side. Obviously still covering games a little bit, but it was really Amiga Action and the mentioned Amiga Power, which were a lot more games related and making me more interested in it, because you also had your demo discs as well, even though back then probably the majority of games we got on, let's say, backups, but it was still good to obviously get the added bonus of the cover discs. And a lot of the time, you know, it went from like one cover disc starting off to two, even sometimes three, especially with Amiga Format. Anyway, this one of Amiga Power I got here is from June 1994, so just over 21 years ago now. On the cover here we've got Mr. Nuts, a game we've never played on Amiga, but I did have on my Super Nintendo. And editor at the moment is Jonathan Davis. who also used to work on Superplay magazine, something by now I've probably bored you all to death with. Anyway, let's just obviously have a look through and just point out a few key games and key stories. We've got a little feature, down here on the CD32, so it's saying it's going to be like the A1200 CD system, which quite a lot of games were obviously ported over, so I suppose that's how we could try and justify it. But as we all know, the CD32 didn't really do that much. It's a machine I've only ever played on, at the Games Expos. Also I'm just trying to think of a couple of things that really jump out. Now, massive fan of the point and click games, so we've got a preview here of Flight of the Amazon Queen. That's obviously coming out on all the different Amiga systems and also CD32. I can't remember if it's something I actually played though. I really can't. I think I'd gone more or less back to console gaming when that actually came out. Then we've got a game Rough and Tumble. Just moving on ever so slightly. A whole feature here on censorship. A couple of games that have caused a bit of controversy. So here we've got obviously your strict poker games and things like that, which I'm sure we've all played at some point. And also, just moving on, we've got the cover review here of Mr. Nuts. Now, like I say, I've only ever played this on Super Nintendo. The Amiga version does look quite different, and we rated that at 80%, so not bad at all. The thing is though, I think with the Amiga, when it came to platformers, we were sort of like looking for that key platform game, like the Mega Drive had Sonic, and obviously Nintendo had Mario, so it was always looking for that platform hero. So I know obviously they had Zool as well, and then things like James Pond, Robocard. So there were quite a lot of really good platformers on the Amiga though, but these are really the only few that just stand out to me at the time. Oh, another one, Super Frog. I suppose that could be seen as like a key Amiga platformer. Anyway, that's discussion for another time. Game here, not a great rating though. Sierra Soccer giving 62%. I think that's the thing with Amiga Power. They say the reviews are quite honest. There was one that I saw when I was looking through the scans. I think it was for Kickoff 3, where they really laid into it. I'm sure it was like something like 5%, and the whole review was just like a complete joke, So I suppose the way they justified it was, if game makers weren't going to take it seriously, why should they? And that is like one of the things that people loved about Amiga Power. Here we've got, speaking of Devil, James Pond 3, Operation Starfish, one that I've never played still after all these years, and obviously I know it came out on the Mega Drive as well. We've got, moving along, this is another big selling point of the Amiga Power. The Amiga Power all-time top 100, so obviously they did these lists, the sort of like must-own games for the Amiga, and updated it yearly. Then got usual cheats pages, so quite a few games there. Bubba and Sticks, a game that I've just recently got rid of on the Mega Drive. I just couldn't get into it at all. We've got the amazing Cannon Fodder here, a few maps. As I said before, no internet back then, so some levels got really difficult, and you just have to actually wait for these magazines to come out with all the tips and everything. We've also got a walkthrough for Beneath a Steel Sky. Again, it's point and click I've never really bothered playing before. I don't know what happened. It seems to be like late 80s, early 90s. I used to play so many point and click games, and then just went off them for a little bit anyway. Things like this were quite good. sort of Q&As for parts of the games that obviously people are stuck on. You know, it's great for, again, the point-and-click adventure games. Moving on a little bit more, we've also got a feature here featuring Sensible Software. Obviously, a lot of love for them on the Amiga. Sensible Golf, a game I never actually bothered playing. I wasn't really into the whole golf things, despite obviously it being by Sensible Software. Obviously, Cannon Fodder, I think everyone's played, and it's absolutely amazing. Another one of their games just shown down there is Megalomania. I think it's just down here. Yeah, Megalomania, great strategy game. Yeah. One of the awful reviews here, International Soccer, getting 23%, so stupidly low. And just moving on a little bit. One thing that was obviously popular, all things like the files, you know, to keep your magazines in, anything like that, back issues. I remember buying a couple of these. Like I say, it's not really a magazine that I bought very often, unless obviously I had a really good disc on the cover. A couple of budget reviews, like all magazines set out at the time, budget reviews near the back. So here we've got an absolutely fantastic game. I used to actually have this on my ST, Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker, and then a game called Premier, which I've never actually played, but it does look quite good. Moving on a little bit more, the usual Silica adverts that were very, very popular at the time. I know that I've tweeted out pictures of Silica adverts and had quite a big response from a lot of people who've obviously bought the machines from there. And then we've got a feature on some of the CD games, and getting towards the end now. The usual letters, and then at the back the big A to Z of a load of different games. Obviously always handy just to flip to. I suppose like set out quite like Super Play really, and then you had your classified adverts at the back. So it's funny now when I see things like this where it's always Mega Drive, 6 games, mint condition, 50 magazines, all recent, plus C64, nearly 70 games, and swap both of those for an A1200 with games. Amiga 600, 10 games, still boxed as new, still under year's warranty, £300. Although sometimes some of the Amigas, again nowadays, just go for stupid money anyway, you know. Anyway, that was a quick look at Amiga Power. That's all really from me. Again, like I say every time, keep watching. We can still take in MP3 submissions for our Champ Manager, Football Manager episode, which I think we've got to probably about the 5th of August really to get them in, so just send them to maximumpowerup@hotmail.com. Like I say, just a few minute MP3s about your experiences with the game. We'll actually mention the Amiga version, no doubt. Not something I actually ever played, because at the time I actually had got a PC sorted, time it eventually came out, and as I said on the Amiga magazine rack, I've read the reviews of the Amiga version of Champ Manager 2, and it sounds absolutely awful, so that will definitely be mentioned. Anyway, that's all from me, and again, if you enjoy the show, leave us an iTunes review, and see you soon. Thanks, bye.